Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm, thinking right out here in the lab. Doing what I do for you. I got a nice follow-up lesson for you. We still doing, the transcendental divinities, aka gods and goddesses. So let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message, message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, yeah, that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, and that's what I'm on, is to get all right thinkers to know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where I'm going with this? Let's go. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. So let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I'm gonna get right into the lesson because I left off with I think it was start somewhere. Oh, okay. The netherworld, astral plane, extraterrestrial, and the earthly terrestrial divinities. Who are they? That's what we talk about. Right thinkers? Let's talk about, we talking more, let's talk about the divinities. No, I'm still talking about the divinities, God and goddess, excuse me. So we talk about now the netherworld, excuse me. That's the astral plane, next level up from the physical, which is that's the extraterrestrial. Earth is terrestrial. Okay, so another level of the netherreal are those that what that function. Remember, these are principles. They function within the earth and the nether plane. I mean, they're on both levels, so to speak. And the netherworld or the astral plane is a plane of existence that is a little suppler than the earthly, the physical plane. Understand that. Consider your nervous system. Inside the physical body is the nervous system. That's the astral plane, because that's when you go to sleep. That's what takes over. So the netherworld is where what? Most of the god and goddesses reside. And there is a lower and higher netherworld. Did you know that? Okay, listen. And they have interactions where? On the physical plane. Okay, why? What's this? With each other and with even people. People can communicate right there. Whoa, 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 whoa. You can communicate with your higher self, your aspects of your personal character by going into what they're going to tell you. I say meditation. People can communicate with them through meditation. Or what's this? Those who don't know how to meditate, they still communicate through what? The state in between waking and asleep. That stage right before you go into that deep sleep, but you're not woke. So you're in that stage and certain things go on. You don't know, you ain't conscious of it. But some people know how to do that lucid dreaming, so to speak. But yeah, if you ain't conscious of it, you ain't a meditator, that's how you get some of that information that you wonder where, how do I know that? Okay, that's what that is. That's that God doing what they do. All right. So some divinities in this category have avian qualities, and they signify what? That they have a subtler nature, while other divinities are quadruple. Now they tell you your ego set. The spirit is recognized by what? Falcon, the baddest thing in the air. The set, your ego Your higher self is recognized by the spirit. Haru is recognized by the falcon. Set is recognized by a four-legged animal. Why? He's earthbound. He considered the devil. He wants to keep you here. Why? This is where he is. He can't leave. He can't go. Next that. She's not immortal. She represents what? Death. Why? She's born. She represents nature. Nature will die. The physical body will die. So if you don't get past your ego and understand nature, you ain't ready to the next level. We got to move up and become conscious. We give you the divinities. They help you do that. Learn them. Become like them. Study them. Understand what they represent. And then you can implement it and you become them. Hence, self-mastery. So now, some divinities in the categories, okay, like I said, the quadruple, that means earthbound. And this signifies that they are the grosser nature. They are earthbound. Thus, the divinities have local interest, and so they are recognized as what? Tutelary, which is caretakers, divinities of this particular locality on Earth. You have 42 confessed in Mayat because every nome is 42 nomes up and down the Egyptian, the Nile River. That's in everybody in Nile Valley. Everybody had to say so. So that means you had to appease every god, hence the 42. Okay, that's another concept, another lesson, but that's what it's about. But watch this. They telling you in every area they had a divinity that they had to represent pretty much. And the bad one, which is set, the ego. They've been known by him. Okay? Every god or every aspect of your character. Now, how do you combat ego? Earthbound. Ascend. Okay, you raise your consciousness. So that's the concept. Now let's talk about the holistic, what they call holistic crossover divinities. Who are they? Let's find out. The holistic Neteru are those who have what? Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Let's get back to, we're going to talk about the holistic crossover divinities. Well, who are they? Let's talk about it. The holistic Neteru are those who have qualities that allow them to what? Appeal to the masses of people on earth in the form of what? Local divinities. The Memphites had Ptah, Sekhmet, and Nefertim. Waset, they had Mut, Amun, Mut, and Khonsu. Anu, they had Haru, Asar, and Aset. So everybody had their divinity depending on where they're located at. Okay, let's get understand that. Now these are the holistic God. These are the guys they pray to for what? Healing. Excuse me. These are people on earth and from the local divinities, and they operate in what? In other planes of existence, meaning the astral level also. Thus, they fulfill the roles what? Needed by people at every stage of spiritual evolution. They have human existence and incarnation, but their higher aspects are of creator divinities. Again, next level up. In order to promote spiritual evolution, a human being, what? Needs to learn. You need to learn about, and you have your experience in increasing of what? Expanding your own consciousness for yourself on the higher planes of existence. You start to realize you're not just a physical body. Now, through the worship and increasing knowledge of these divinities, a human being can now discover the deeper and deeper levels of existence. We got some layers to this. And by discovering the deeper levels of symbolism, the symbology, the esoteric teachings, and the mythic teachings contained where? In the iconograph and the mystic wisdom of their respective sagas. The stories are there to give you a message, to convey a lesson, and the mystery system, aka what you know it as Shita or right thinking philosophy. The divinities in this category include, you remember these? Asar, Aset, Tahuti, Haru, and Het Haru. These are all the higher divinities that you have to understand. Part of your character. Asar, your spirit. Aset, your knowledge and wisdom. Tahuti, your thinking ability to think right. Haru, the spirit in you. Het Haru is the female spirit that's in all of us, okay? And these divinities are all related to the other creator divinities, and they also have in relationship with who? The noon. That's where everything comes from. Now let's talk about natural divinity. Remember the five elements? The natural divinities are the Neteru who compose the five elements of nature. They are Geb, earth, Nut, heaven, Shu, air, tough Nut, moist air, Ra, fire or the sun, etc. Those are nature elements. The top five. I gave that lesson a while ago. So now let's move on. Now you got local worldly divinities. What's them? These are the divinities that's worshipped at the particular nome or city, town. Again, but not nationally throughout Egypt. Example of a local divinity is, you ready? I put this down especially. Jedi, spelled J, D is solid, Jedi. Return of the Jedi, Star Wars. That place is called Jedi, which is worshipped as what? A form of Asar in the town called Jeddu. Djedu. When they asked Star Wars, George Lucas, about this concept, he said he went to Egypt, studied the ancient Egyptian concept, and he came up with the concept of nature being the fourth. He came up with the Jedi, meaning somebody who can outthink the opponent. He played the what? The mind game on your mind game. He reads your mind. He can control your mind. He can manipulate your mind. All those good things. That's what people do who have a little advanced knowledge. We do that with the kids. Play the mind game. Why? You could outthink a kid on the streets. I was just outthinking my competitors. Same thing. I read the Return of the Jedi book while I was in prison. So I get the concept. It just makes sense. And when you are thinking right, you got to step above the average person. I just listened to my man Bobby Hemmett. He said, damn that 85%. We 99.9% stupid. Wow. That's crazy. But that's his opinion, and that's what he think about us as the people not knowing who we are. He's serious about that. Okay. So the Jedi is not from the Star Wars. Jedi is ours. Okay. The backbone of Asar is the Jet pillar, the jet pillar. The top four levels, that's raising above your conscious level. In Masonic order, that would be considered the next level up from the blue house to the red house. Another level. Excuse me. But remember, there's levels to this, and you get better at it by what? Studying and implementing. Next one, here's a good one. Anthropomorphic iconographs. The people that we show you as the God. The term anthropomorphic, it means with human form. Okay? This kind of imagery is easiest for what? The human mind to identify with and recognize. And that way, it is the basic, elemental of what? Iconographs that people can adopt and follow, since it allows them to what? Quickly relate with the divinity. This kind of iconograph is often used by those divinities who have what? Human incarnations, we get in there, the character, behavior, the myth, and the custom of these divinities denote the energy and the teachings of these divinities by using a particular kind of what? Headdress, there we go, and acting in the temple pageants as the what? Divinity, the cosmic force. Luke, use the force. Okay? It can be further experienced. How? Through excuse me, through empathy, feeling for that character, and identifying with their character or identifying with the divinity. If what? If the energy cosmic force of that particular divinity is understood, then that divine quality being expressed is better understood, and thus spiritual knowledge is now increased. I tell you, Star Wars, Luke, his father, made a decision. Excuse me. He learned about the dark side. He chose Darth Vader, the dark side. That's my example. Luke, Darth Vader. He made his decision. I, being a loyal son, following that decision for a while until what? Until I realized that ain't what I want. Okay, I don't want that, so I chose something else. Still love him. Everything. He is who he is. I am who I am. I'm not like him. Simple. Moving on. Why? His decision was his. Mine's is mine. And my son followed in my decision that I'm doing now. So I don't have a problem with that. Why? I feel good knowing he's doing the right thing. I wouldn't like if my son was a drug dealer, womanizer. I wouldn't like that at all. Why? That wasn't good for me when I did it. So I don't want that for him. Change. So if all the other forms of manifestation were understood, meaning every aspect of your personality that you study the God and Goddess, understood the creative identity of the creative divinity, who gave what rise to them, would also be understood, meaning God. And this would what lead to spiritual awakening of the highest order. You know what I'm saying? Know thyself, aka Nihas. Let's go with zoomorphic. We got two more. Zoomorphic, and then I'll wrap it up with the composite iconograph. Let me take care of the zoomorphic iconograph. This is when you see him, the falcon head on the body, that's zoomorphic. But we use the falcon to exhibit the gift that the falcon have. That's the aspect of your character. Set the ego, he's a four-legged animal. He can't ascend. He's staying here earthbound. That she represents what? Nature, mortality. She don't represent immortality, she represents death. So these are all the concepts. So let's talk about these right quick. Zoomorphic means with animal qualities. Every head you see the scarab beetle, he represents the dung beetle, but he also represents the sun coming up, first part of the sun, raising out of what seemed to be nowhere. The scarab beetle just seemingly come out of nowhere. So it's all symbolic. It's all esoteric. And once you understand it, you be like, aha, yeah, I get it. Simple. See if I can give you a few aha moments here. So watch this. And this is to signify, when they use the quality of a specific animal, to signify that what? They represent some quality or force of what? Nature. As expressed more purely through a particular animal. Again, animals have a particular way of being and acting and feeling, as well as certain purity, which is instinct, which they manifest certain energies that is rarely what manifested by humans. So they have a different instinct of things and manifested by human beings. Animals do not have conscious is the heart mind, but the conscious or inhibitions, such as those of human beings. Okay, and they spelling conscious. When you see me pointing this way, when you say conscious, that's because it's spelled CONSCIENCE, meaning the heart conscious. Yeah, there's a mind in the heart. They know that now. We knew that a long time ago. When I say conscious, pointing up here, that's the conscious mind. The heart conscious is here. So that's the difference. And animals don't have that. Or inhibitions such as those of what? Human beings. So they operate more, an animal operates more directly through what? Instinct. As a human being, the first three levels, fight or flight, right, wrong, egoistic concepts, the first three levels. If you living on them, you can live off of that, but that's where it starts because that's all you're going to do, and that's going to keep you reincarnating. So, like an animal, if you act on instinct, the first monument is the Sphinx. from the beastly to consciousness. That's what you should do. They was telling you that way back then, over 10,000 years ago. And watch this. Thus, their actions demonstrate a particular form or a characteristic of a particular manifestation of energy in a more natural and powerful way. Again, I gave a lesson when they did you about being a wolf. Be more like the wolf. Why? It don't mate with its own kind. It don't marry its mothers and sisters. No, none of that. And it mate for life. One mate, that's it. So a lot of us ain't like the wolf, so we know that. But God give animals stuff that they can relate to, and we relate to that concept. Moving on. In this way, in this way of imaginary allows the avid student to what study that particular force or aspect of the animal and understand it more clearly. Composite iconograph. That's a little bit of both. Varies divinities. They use the composite form of iconograph, and this increases what? Their flexibility to use them in different examples, and also allow the divinity to take on diverse characteristics to suit a particular situation or manifestation in a different plane of existence. For example, the god Asar manifests as a anthropomorphic male divinity in the physical plane. Spirit turned into matter, okay, as king of Egypt. Really, Egypt is the physical body. He's the spirit that's in it, so he's the king. After his death, what happens? Now, watch the transformation. After the physical death, he becomes what? A hawk-headed man. Remember the attributes of the hawk? Falcon, highest flying, fastest flying bird, land, sea, and air. He got the edge on anything he need. Okay, he's the baddest thing going, and your spirit is represented by that. So you see the falcon-headed or hawk-headed man. That's what it means. He has the ability. He's the baddest man, and it operates what as king of what the netherworld, the underworld, the afterworld. Y'all call hell, whatever. No, it ain't hell. It's the underworld where the spirits go. Then what? The avian quality with him relates to what? Ra and Haru, which is what? His reincarnated spirit in the flesh, again, as his son, as well as the capacity, watch this, to fly to the heavens. They say the falcon can fly as if it fly right into the sun. It got a special lens over the eyes so it can look directly into the sun. I mean, it can go home conceptually, symbolically. If you see Nature Channel, you see that falcon, the peregrine falcon, he a bad man, okay? He don't give a coup craps about the bald eagle also. He smacked them around too. Moving on. So this kind of iconograph is to what? Be considered as a correlative theological statement. Why? Because a statement that links theological traditions and that outwardly appear to be different and separate. There are many such statements in the Netherrean philosophy. They serve to what? To show the underlying correlations between the divinities. They're all connected, as well as the unifying principles of said philosophy. There's no, well, he do that, he do this. No, it's all correlated together. Trust me. And wrapping it up, again, appreciate you tuning in. This is the last one. The concept of the iconograph and the system of divinities also allow the human being to what? Study what? Creation. In its what? It is you can study in a dissected fashion so as to what? Better your understanding of the parts. The end of this study is the realization what? That human beings have all of the qualities represented in the divinities. That's all part of you. If the divinities are eaten, meaning you digest them, you take them in, learn them, understand them, they call that eating, as the pyramid text, I ain't got my stuff on, I'm naked, explains what? The power of the divinities will what? Revert back to who? The eater, you. Just as the energy or power of what? Food that we eat does what? Revert back to what? The eater, you. Thus, as this eating process goes on, a human being gradually what? Becomes more and more complete, aka and whole, meaning putting the pieces back together. That's what I said does for you. I got the lesson going for you with that too. You mean you're putting back together, and the task of what? That's the task of spiritual study, worship, and the ultimate goal of life. It is the unveiling of what? The mysteries of life. Excuse me, unraveling the mystery of life. Meaning, as you go, going, you ascending, you getting better to what? Find out what lies ahead. Whatever adverse situation come your way, you deal with them all the same. Handle your business, maintain your cool, and be your best self in life. Watch it out, wrapping it up. Now, where you at? Now, the unwrapping the mysteries of life. And watch this. This is also the oldest and deepest philosophy known to man behind what later came to be called, you ready? Eucharist. Yeah, I know about that. Christians, first Sunday, get Eucharist, drink my blood, eat of my flesh. Thus, we have what? Also have the two kinds of Eucharist. Did you know that? In the Netherrean theology, not the Christian, this is Netherrean Eucharist. One is the Eye of Haru. I ain't got none of my stuff on today, which what? Reconstitutes what? The body of Asar. The second one, the other is the Neteru, which what? Constitute the pieces of the eye of Haru itself. That's Tahuti. That's the mind. That's the right thinker in you. That's the lesson. Hope you got something out of it. Hope you understood it. Hope I made it clear for you. And in closing, right thinkers, may you live to be 100. Meet 100 minds today. So I know none of the right thinkers like you passed away. So I'll be back with all my stuff for next time.